Alright, I'm going to be reading Dingoes at Dinnertime, Magic Treehouse book, number 20. I'll start off with a prologue. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found out that it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic, and it could take them to all the places in the books. All they had to do was point to a picture and wish to go there. Along the way, Jack and Annie discovered that the treehouse belongs to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan is a magical librarian from the time of King Arthur. She travels through time and space gathering books. In Magic Treehouse books 17 through 20, Jack and Annie must be given 4 special gifts to help free an enchanted dog from a spell. They have already received a gift on a trip to the Titanic, a gift from Lakota Indians, and a gift from a forest in India. Now they are about to go out and search for their last gift. The Last Gift, Chapter 1. Annie sat on the porch steps. She stared down the street at the Frog Creek woods. "Hey, Jack," she said. "Do you hear it?" Jack sat next to her. He was reading a book. "Hear what?" he said. "Teddy's calling us," said Annie. "You're kidding," said Jack, but he looked down the street and listened too. A faint bark came from the distance. "Arf, arf." A big smile crossed Jack's face. "You hear it?" Annie said. "Yep," said Jack. "You're right, time to go." He stood up and grabbed his backpack. "Be back soon," Annie shouted through the screen door. "Don't be late for dinner," their dad called out. "We won't," said Jack. He and Annie ran down the street and into the Frog Creek woods. Soon they came to the tallest oak. There was a magic tree house. A little black nose stuck out the window. "Hi, silly," Annie called. "We're coming." "Arf," said a happy bark. Annie grabbed the rope ladder and started climbing. Jack followed her up into the treehouse. A small dog sat in a circle in the afternoon sunshine. His tail wagged. "Hey, Teddy," said Jack. Jack and Annie hugged Teddy, and the dog licked both of them. "Morgan's note is still here," said Annie. "Yep," said Jack. He knew the note by heart now. "This little dog is under a spell and needs your help. To free him, you must be given 4 special gifts. A gift from a ship lost at sea, a gift from the prairie blue, a gift from a forest far away, a gift from a kangaroo. Be wise, be brave, be careful. Morgan." Besides the note, there were 3 gifts from their last 3 trips. A pocket watch from the Titanic, an eagle's feather from the prairie skies, a lotus flower from a forest in India. "We need to get a gift from a kangaroo," said Annie, "and Teddy will be free from his spell." "We must be going to Australia," said Jack. "That's where kangaroos live." "Cool," said Annie. Teddy whined and scratched at a book lying in the corner. Jack picked it up. "What'd I tell you?" he said. He showed the cover to Annie. The title was Adventure in Australia. "Great," said Annie. She looked at Teddy. "Ready to meet a kangaroo?" "Arf, arf." Jack opened the book. He found a page of small pictures of different animals and a big picture of a forest. Jack pointed at the forest. "I wish we could go there," he said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 2. Sleepyhead. Jack opened his eyes. Glaring hot sunlight flooded into the treehouse. "Neat hats," said Annie. She and Jack were both wearing hats. "I think they will protect us from the sun," said Jack. He and Annie looked out the window. Teddy looked out too. The treehouse had landed in a scrubby forest filled with droopy plants and dry brown trees. "Man, this place needs rain," said Jack. He sat back on his heels and looked at the picture of where they had landed in the Australia book. He read, "Australia's forests go through times of drought. A drought is a long period of time without any rain. The same forest can be flooded by heavy rains at other times of the year." Jack pulled out his notebook and wrote, "Drought equals no rain." "Hey, Jack," said Annie, "doesn't it smell like a cookout?" Jack sniffed the air. It did smell like a cookout. Jack looked out the window. A wisp of smoke floated above the trees and in the distance. "Maybe people are camping over there," Jack said. "Let's go see," said Annie. Jack put his notebook and the Australia book into his backpack. "Put Teddy in there too," said Annie. Jack slipped the little dog into the pack, then he followed Annie down the ladder. When they stepped onto the ground, the hot wind nearly blew their hats off. "The campers must be over here," said Annie. She pointed at the smoke in the blue sky. They started walking across a sun-baked clearing. They passed bushes and scrawny trees. Lizards ran over the dry, cracked ground. "Arf, arf," Teddy barked from Jack's pack. "Whoa," said Jack. A pair of huge, funny-looking birds walked out from behind a bush. They were taller than Jack. They had fat bodies, long, skinny legs, and long, skinny necks. "Who are you?" Annie asked the strange pair. Jack opened his pack and took out the Australia book. He found a picture of the birds. "They're emus," he said. He read aloud, "The emu is a large bird that doesn't fly. It can run as fast as 30 miles per hour." "Wow, that's fast," said Annie. "Arf!" Teddy jumped out of Jack's backpack and barked at the strange birds. The emus gave the dog a howdy look. Then they turned and walked proudly away. Jack wrote in his notebook, "Emus, proud birds, don't fly." "Look, a live teddy bear," said Annie. Jack looked up. Annie ran to a tree at the edge of the clearing. The live teddy bear was nestled in the fork of the tree. "Aw, it's so cute," whispered Annie. The creature was fast asleep. He had large round ears and a black nose and a furry body. His feet had long curved claws. "It's a koala bear," said Jack. "Hi, sleepyhead," Annie said to the koala. She patted his soft fur. He opened his big eyes and looked calmly at her. Jack found a picture of a koala in the Australia book. He read, "The koala is actually not a bear at all. It's a marsupial, like a kangaroo. A marsupial mother carries her babies in a stomach pouch." "That's neat," said Annie. Jack kept reading. "Koalas mostly eat leaves of gum trees, so cutting down gum trees to clear land has hurt them. Wildfires are also a threat. Koalas are slow-moving and can't escape smoke and flames." Jack pulled out his notebook and wrote, "Wildfires are a threat to koalas." "What's wrong, sleepyhead?" Annie asked the koala. "Don't you feel well?" "Don't worry," said Jack. "Listen to this." He read more from the book. "Koalas, like kangaroos, are active at night and sleep during the day when the sun is hot. The name koala means no drink because koalas rarely drink water. They get moisture from the leaves they eat." Jack licked his lips. His mouth felt dry. "Speaking of water," he said, "I'm thirsty." "Me too," said Annie. Teddy was panting as if he was thirsty also. "Let's go find those campers," said Jack, sighing. Maybe they can give us some water." Jack put Teddy back into his pack. He tucked the book under his arm and in case he needed to look something up again. They began walking again. Suddenly, there was a loud, harsh cackle. "Yikes," Annie said. "What was that?" said Jack. Chapter 3. Bigfoot. The loud cry ran through the dry air. Teddy barked. Jack and Annie turned around in the clearing. It was hard to tell where the sound was coming from. The terrible cackle came again. "There," said Annie. She pointed at a bird in a gum tree. The bird had long brown feathers and a large head with a long beak. It stared down at Jack and Annie. Then it let out another cackle. "Weird," said Jack. He found the bird in his book and read, "The kookaburra is best known bird of Australia. There is even a popular song about it. The kookaburra is also called the laughing donkey. This was because the strange sound it makes reminds people of a braying donkey." "I know that song," said Annie. She began singing, "Kookaburra sits on the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he." Jack wrote in his notebook, "Kookaburra, a big kook." Annie stopped singing. "Hey," she said, "there's another weird thing." "Where?" said Jack. Annie pointed to a big bluish-tan lump lying in a shallow, dusty hole. "Is it alive?" said Jack. They stepped closer to the big lump. "It looks like it's breathing," said Annie. The lump was an animal laying on its back. Its paws were crossed over its chest. Here's a picture of the kookaburra. It had huge feet, large ears, and a face like a deer, and a very long tail. It also had a fat stomach. Just then, a small head peered out of its stomach. "Whoa," said Jack. "Oh, wow, it's a kangaroo with her baby in her pouch," said Annie. There's the kangaroo. "Great," said Jack. "Remember, we have to get a gift from a kangaroo." The voices woke the kangaroo. The animal jumped up from her shallow bed. She glared at Jack and Annie. Her baby peeked out of her pouch. The mother kangaroo gave an angry stamp. "Oh, we're sorry," said Annie. "We didn't mean to wake you." The kangaroo eyed Annie curiously. Then she took a giant hop towards her. Copying the kangaroo, Annie hopped toward the big animal. The kangaroo hopped again. Annie hopped. The kangaroo and Annie began hopping around each other. They looked as if they were dancing. Jack couldn't believe how graceful the kangaroo was. She seemed to fly through the air, then land softly as a butterfly. He looked up kangaroo in his book and read, "The kangaroo is the most famous of marsupials. The female carries her baby, known as Joey, in her pouch. Scientists call the kangaroo a marcopod, which means Bigfoot, and big feet help a kangaroo hop higher than any other animal in the world. With a running leap, a large kangaroo can jump over a school bus." "Forget the hopping contest, Annie," Jack called. "She can out-hop you by a mile." He pulled out his notebook and wrote, "Kangaroo, Bigfoot, can jump over a school bus." The kangaroo began stamping her feet again. "What's wrong?" said Annie. The kangaroo froze. "Grrr," Teddy growled from Jack's backpack. Some nearby bushes moved. A moment later, 3 dogs crept silently into the clearing. They were sand-colored and mean-looking. Teddy growled once more. "Here are the dogs. Here's Kangaroo, Jack, and Annie." But the dogs crept toward the kangaroo. Suddenly, the mother kangaroo sprang into the air away from the dogs. The dogs chased after her. "Stop!" cried Annie. "Stop! Leave her alone." As the kangaroos jumped, she turned in midair and landed facing in a different direction. She then zigzagged over rocks and bushes. Howling, the wild dogs raced after the kangaroo and her baby. Chapter 4. Joey. "Oh no," cried Annie. "We have to save her." She took off after the dogs. Teddy barked over Jack's shoulder. Jack ran after Annie with the book under his arm. He ran over the dry, cracked ground past the scrubby bushes and scattered gum trees. Jack kept his eye on Annie. Running ahead of him, she saw her stop suddenly. She turned around and dropped to her knees. "What happened?" he shouted. "Come look," she said. Jack reached Annie. Beside her in the grass was the baby kangaroo, and it was trembling. "Don't be scared," Annie was saying. Then she looked at Jack. "Where's his mom? Why did she drop him?" "I don't know," said Jack. He put his pack on the ground and opened the Australia book. Teddy jumped out of the pack. The little dog tried to sniff the baby kangaroo. "Don't scare him, Teddy," Annie said. Teddy sat back and watched politely. "Here's the baby kangaroo." Jack opened the Australia book and found a picture of a baby kangaroo. He read, "The biggest enemy of the kangaroo is the dingo, the wild dog of Australia. When a mother kangaroo is chased by dingoes, she may throw her joey out of her pouch. Without the extra weight in her pouch, she can leap faster and farther. She then leads the dingoes away from her baby. If she escapes the dingoes, she returns to the joey." "Oh, Jack," Annie said sadly. "I hope his mother escapes from the dingoes." "Me too," said Jack. "Hi, Joey," said Annie. She gently patted the baby kangaroo. "He's so soft, Jack." Jack knelt down and touched the brown fur. It was soft, the softest fur he'd ever felt. The shy little kangaroo stared at Jack with big brown eyes and trembled. "Don't be scared, Joey," Annie said. "Your mom's going to come back for you." Joey jumped away from Jack and Annie. He hopped toward Jack's pack, which was sitting on the ground. The baby kangaroo took a giant leap and dived headfirst into the pack. His whole body went inside, but his big feet stuck out. Then he turned himself over and peeked out at Jack and Annie. They both laughed. "He thinks your pack is a pouch," said Annie. "I know, put it on backward. It will feel like when his mom carries him." Jack put his Australia book on the ground. Then Annie helped him put the pack on his chest instead of his back. The joey was heavy. "There," Annie said. "You look just like a mother kangaroo." "Oh, brother," said Jack, but he patted the baby's soft fur. "Don't worry," he said to Joey. "You can stay in there till your mom gets back." "Here, Joey, would you like some grass to eat?" asked Annie. Annie scooped up a handful of grass and gave it to the kangaroo. He munched the grass, keeping his big eyes on Annie. "I hope his mom comes back for him soon," she said worriedly. "Yeah," said Jack. He looked around the dry forest. There was no sign of the mother kangaroo. Here's Jack holding the baby kangaroo. But Jack saw something else. "Look," he said to Annie. The wisp of smoke in the sky had turned into a big black cloud. Jack noticed the smell of burning wood was much stronger. "What are those campers doing?" said Annie. "Are they making a bonfire now or what?" A feeling of dread came over Jack. "What if," he said, "what if?" In the distance, a tree suddenly burst into flames. "We're looking at a wildfire," he said. Chapter 5. Wildfire. "Wildfire?" said Annie. "The woods are so dry, everything's starting to burn," said Jack. "We have to get out of here." "We can't leave Joey," said Annie. "We'll take him with us," said Jack. "But what if his mom comes back for him and he's not here?" "You don't have a choice," said Jack. Just then the kookaburra flew through the sky cackling. The emus raced at top speed. The air was getting smokier and smokier. The fire was spreading. "Come on," said Jack. "We have to get back to the treehouse before it burns down." "Which way's the treehouse?" said Annie. "I'm not sure," said Jack. Smoke hid the treetops. Jack's eyes stung. Here's all the animals running. "Forget it," he said. "Let's just get away from the smoke. Come on." Jack and Teddy turned to go. The baby kangaroo hid his head inside Jack's pack. "I'll catch up," said Annie. "I have to get something." "What?" cried Jack, but Annie had dashed off in the other direction. "Come back," Jack shouted. "Annie!" Branches cracked and fell from the trees. Smoke billowed everywhere. "Annie!" Jack cried. Jack choked on the smoke. He coughed and rubbed his eyes. The air was getting hotter. He had no choice. He had to run. Teddy barked from somewhere ahead. "Hurry, Annie," Jack called helplessly. Then he turned off after Teddy. He stumbled blindly through the brush. All he could do was follow the sound of Teddy's barking. His pack felt heavier and heavier. He held it up with his arms and kept going. Suddenly Jack heard Annie calling him. Jack stopped. "Here, here, here! We're here!" he shouted. "Come on, follow us." Annie appeared through the haze of hot smoke. She was coughing. Tears streamed from her eyes. She was carrying the koala. "Come on," Jack cried. "Follow Teddy." Arf, arf. Jack and Annie carried Joey and the koala. They followed Teddy's barking through the smoky, fire-filled forest. Finally, they came to a giant rock. Teddy was standing on a ledge. Behind him was the mouth of a cave. Through the smoke, Jack could barely see the little dog. Teddy barked, then vanished inside the cave. "Follow him," said Annie. Alright, I'll do part 2 of the next half of the book right after this.